for the women's team.
This is the women's team's archery here at Baku 2015 at the inaugural European Games. We're in the Torfak Bamarov Stadium, getting set for this match between Georgia and Ukraine. Semi-final spot at stake.
On target 2, presenting Ukraine, Настасья Павлова, Лидия Сеченникова, Вероника Марченко, and the judge will be Andrea Bartot.
So Georgia versus Ukraine for a spot in the semi-finals against Belarus. Georgia come into this quarter-final as the 5th seeds, eliminating Great Britain in the last round by 5 set points to 3. Ukraine beat the Netherlands by the same score. Ukraine, the 4th seeded team, eclipsing Georgia's score by just a single point in the ranking round. 1,917 points to 1,916. So a terrific battle and prospect here, terrific match and prospect. And it's going to be Ukraine to go first, and here is Anastasia Pavlova, the 20-year-old from Ukraine. Starts with a 10, I think. Looks like it's going to be a 10, I'd say. Veronika Marchenko starts with the 10 as well. And now the 3rd member of the team, Lydia Shchenikova, the world indoor champion from 2014. Starts with an 8, so I suspect that will be upgraded to 28 points once the arrows are certified. First rotation. Lobshanidze starts with a 6. Not what Georgia were needing after this good start from Ukraine. This is Christine Isebua, 30-year-old. Oh, that's a terrific start from her. That's inside the inner ring of the 10. Brilliant arrow from her. And now Katuna Narimonidze. Brilliant start from her too. This is high quality from both teams. Only the one loose arrow so far from Lobshanidze. That's 6. Anastasia Pavlova, the 20-year-old, 2008, former world youth champion back in 2013. So 52 is the score for Ukraine, possibly 53. That first arrow to be looked at again. Now, Yulia Lobshanidze. Oh, brilliant stuff from Georgia here. My word. So just a 7 required. from Rima Nidza. How about that? That's the best we've seen in the quarterfinals. 5 10s out of 6 from Georgia. Brilliant archery from them. Just the one loose arrow to start things off from Lobja Nidza. Other than that, perfection. Rima Nidza is a silver medalist already at these games, winning silver in the mixed teams competition with her teammate Lasha Kakadza. It happened earlier on in the games. So keep your eye on her. She's been in excellent form. That's the last of the 3 shooters in the Georgian team. She's on the right of screen there. 41-year-old Rima Nidza. .56 out of 60. Team score could have been higher, but 5 10s is brilliant. Ukraine's archery too was pretty good standard in that first set. 52, possibly 53 points.
Georgia. Confirm.
Hanımlar ve canablar, gəlin idmançıları yarışdan əvvəl bir daha alqışlayan, onlara dəstək olan və təbii ki, həvəsləndirək.
So yes, that first arrow was upgraded to a 10 from Ukraine, but it won't be enough to win the set. 56 to 53, the confirmed score. So 2 set points to 0. It's Georgia leading after that first set. Fascinating to see if Georgia can continue that high standard that they have set in that first set. Whether Ukraine can come back. So no change to the order. Up comes Pavlova. Former European indoor champion for the world as well. Very good record despite being 20 years of age. Won multiple titles at underage level in both Europe and at World Championships. Marchenko with a 9. She too, another youngster, just 22 years of age, but outstanding record at junior level. And several titles as well. Shchina Kemfkova is again a 22-year-old. So Ukraine, a very young team, 2 22-year-olds, 1 20-year-old, but all very talented. More experience in this Georgian team. And again, Lobja Nidza starts with an arrow she would have liked to have left in the locker room. So Ukraine with a 1-point advantage after that first rotation, and the Georgian team unable to carry on at that high level they set in that first set. And she doesn't like the arrow. That's going to put pressure on and take time out of the Ukraine lineup. That's going to put some pressure on. Means they'll need to get their arrows away a little quicker, so it's going to be interesting. Time of greater importance now for Ukraine as Shchenikova steps up. Oh, she's responded to the pressure beautifully. Now we go back to Pavlova. You can see she's got 10 seconds. She should be fine. So she did well, but interesting to see what happened there. She wasn't happy with that arrow at all. So 53 out of 60. 29 will win this set for Georgia. Two 10s required now. Sibua. That is going to mean Narima Ridza. Comes down to her, Narima Ridza. She needs a 10 to tie the set. She's got it. She is an excellent touch. Kartuna Narima Ridza locks the scores up 53 all provisionally. Not much chatter in that Ukraine team, is there? Young side, remember, still not lost. Ukraine.
The final, Ukraine won 5-3. And also Georgia against Great Britain 5-3.
From memory, I'm not sure. I don't think there were any provisional arrows or contentious arrows in there, so this one should be shared at 53 apiece. Yes, it has been shared. It's been confirmed now, 53 points apiece. So, 3 set points to 1. Means if Georgia wins the set, they will be into the semi-finals. So pressure here on Ukraine. Anastasia Pavlova starts with a 10. That's the best arrow of the match so far for Ukraine. Perfect start. Just sneaking outside the yellow zone. Georgia doing well here. 10 from Narima Ridza will give them the lead after the first rotation of this vital third set. So it's locked up at 27 apiece. Good response to the pressure here, isn't it? Wouldn't mind another 10 though, Ukraine here, and it's all going to fall onto the shoulders of Lydia Shchenikova. Oh, close to a 10. It's very good, consistent shooting. 54 out of a maximum 60. Probably just shy of a 10 or 2 that they would have loved to have made their quest a little bit easier. Remember, they need to win this set, Ukraine, to stay alive in the match. And 10s from Georgia are going to do it. That's another 9. So, it all comes down to this again for Narimaridze, who's been closing out things beautifully for Georgia. She needs a 9. Get Georgia into the semi-finals. Oh, it's an 8. Well, the drama continues in this quarterfinal. The drama continues, 54 to 54. Couple of close calls in there. The scores are just going to be ratified now. Might an arrow or two be changed here? Narimaridze, there it is, thudding into the 8 zone. That one there, if it was 1 point higher, Georgia would be in the semi-finals. They still might be in the semi-finals, of course. Just waiting for those arrow scores to be ratified. Keep getting a close eye on the scoreboard. Our scoring system here. If it's tied, we'll go to a 4th set.
Yesterday in the mixed team competition,
Georgia and Ukraine, it is shared. It is shared. It's been ratified now. 54 points each. So for the second set in a row, points have been shared. It's a tight one in this quarterfinal. So last set, Ukraine must win it to send it to a shoot-off. Remember, the winner of this quarterfinal to meet Belarus in the semi-finals here at the women's team's archery competition at the Baku 2015 Games. It comes down to this for the young Ukraine team. Anastasia Pavlova here shooting first. Veronika Marchenko and Lydia Shchenikova. 7 10s to the Georgian team, and 5 of them came in that first set, you'll recall. So just 2 since then. That's a 10 off the bow of Marchenko. Nerves of steel, this young Ukraine team so far. So important to stay calm and focused in a sport like archery. Wind getting up. The wind really getting up. Not happy there was Shchenikova. And she's taken up a lot of time here, waiting for that gust of wind to disappear. How's she going to respond? Oh, with a 10! Brilliant, brilliant arrow. That is outstanding. Interesting to check on Ukraine's time, though. And they come back for their second rotation, how many seconds they have left. Baku is a windy place naturally, and gust of wind really disrupting proceedings there for Ukraine. So 29 out of 30 for them. Now they must win the set. Whoops, that could be costly for Georgia in this set. A loose arrow from Christine Esibua. See the wind getting up a little bit now. It's gusting a fraction. So a big advantage to Ukraine here in this fourth set. Rip through this reasonably quickly though with that disruption earlier on in this set. And they can't let their standards drop. Score low, remember, they will open the door again to Georgia coming back and perhaps winning this set. Marchenko with a 9. Last arrow of the set now. Shchenikova. Brilliant arrow last time to get a 10. She's got the 8. 54 to 24. So Georgia to win this semi-final, this quarter-final rather, they'll need 3 10s. And that's only a 7, so Ukraine are safe. They'll win the set. We're going to a shoot-off. Second quarter-final of this women's team's competition, which will be decided by a shoot-off.
9.
Incredibly consistent scoring from Ukraine, 53, 53, 54, 54. Georgia too have been excellent. Narimaridze finishes with a 9. So their standards fell away a bit in that fourth set. So we're going to a shoot-off. The scores will be ratified first. But after that start of Georgia, where they got to 5 10s in a row, really start strong in the semi-final, 56 to 53. Ukraine have managed to hang on. 2 tied sets and then a win in the last set for Ukraine. Remember, their archers 20, 22 and 22. Very young team, Ukraine, but a talented one clearly. Much more experienced Georgia. Youngest archer in their trio is 30. And they've all been around the world circuit for a while. See those trees really blowing strongly in the breeze, moving strongly in the breeze outside the stadium here in central Baku at Tofik Bamarov Stadium. Much more sheltered though at ground level here. But still, the odd big gust sneaks through, as we've seen. So there we are. It's all confirmed now. 4 set points each. We have a shoot-off between Ukraine and Georgia. 3 arrows. 1 arrow each. They'll alternate the teams as we go through, the archers as we go through from each team. So 1 arrow each. Highest score cumulatively wins the shoot-off. If the scores are tied at the end of the shoot-off, the arrow closest to the centre wins. Pavlova to start first for Ukraine. She starts with the 10. Brilliant. Been super impressive, Ukraine, through this quarter-final, responding to the pressure, holding their nerve and composure. So after the first arrow, it's 10 to 9. 1 point advantage to Ukraine. This is Veronika Marchenko. So far, it's Ukraine on a countback. But Sibua will need a 10 here to make things interesting. And in the last rotation, there was a 7 and a 9 from her in the last set. 9. Well, this is where pressure really comes on. How's the nerves? 2 arrows left, 1 arrow each. It's a 1-point advantage to Ukraine. Shchenikova. Oh, it's an 8. So a total score of 27. So for Georgia to win, they must get a 10. Upstets. Narima Manidze. If she gets a 10, Georgia into the semis. It's a 9. So that means Ukraine are through. It's a tie. It's a tie in this shoot-off. But you can see the 10 there, scored by Ukraine, by Pavlova. In the first arrow, it goes on who's closest to the centre. And Pavlova, with the only 10, will mean Ukraine go through to the semi-finals. Wow, what a dramatic match that was.
We have the official confirmation.
Ukraine are through. They had to fight superbly, and that's a huge tick next to their coaching staff and the training and practice that they've put in to stay mentally strong, because that was a huge mental test all the way through that one. Georgia's start, remember, in that first set, 5 10s in succession. They were off and running. Ukraine, no wonder the heart rate would have been beating hard amongst those Ukraine archers, but they are through to the semi-finals, eliminating Georgia. A thrilling contest. Ukraine through in a shoot-off. They win by 5 set points to 4, and they will meet Belarus in the semi-finals.
Cənablar, birazdan qadınlar arasında komanda yarışmalarının yarım final mərhələsi olacaq.